Tell me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me.
All right, we're going to get this whole thing of social media. Does it control you or do you control it? And like I said, this is the second time we've done it. I haven't done it in a while. And I would just say things haven't seemed to gotten any better with it. I mean, the reason I got into this first place was the whole thing of cyberbullying, right?
Okay.
Cyberbullying. That's how the whole topic first came up. Now, let me just say, first of all, the stuff is here to stay. It ain't going nowhere. My only concern is when people's lives get caught up into it and seemingly get unraveled, being involved with it. So, cyberbullying, and it's just a quick little. This is the technology itself has evolved, so has the ability to bully. Bullying, once restricted to the school or neighborhood, has now moved into the online world. All right. While technology allows young people to connect in meaningful ways, such as the opportunity to share ideas, photos, videos, and more, the unsupervised nature, that might be a word to remember, of the cyber world demands the need for guidance, attention, guidance, guidelines, and social responsibility. So there's a number of stories in here about young people who actually committed suicide. There's a story of this 12-year-old girl. She committed suicide after she was allegedly bullied online by more than a dozen girls. And the case follows several suicides by teens who were bullied through anonymous trolling. And I have another article here that has 6 different cases of the Megan Meyer case. I mean, it all has to do with this whole thing of being bullied through various aspects of social media. So this is where, again, this is not alive and free. This is why I come in. And I guess beyond that, I'm just concerned about, we had a conversation with some of the young people at the club about social media. And once I turned on the water faucet, which means talk about it.
You got it started. Yeah.
We couldn't turn it off. Now, we go from we go to 10 o'clock normally, and by 10:15 they were still talking. So I had to say, look, church is ending tonight, But I got, a couple of them are willing to come on and talk about their own experiences. But why don't we start here? And again, the key question is, again, it's here. The certain parts I don't participate in just because that's me. But I assume that I'm hoping that anybody who deals in every aspect of social media, and new stuff seems to be coming out every 5 minutes, that you control it and it doesn't control you. And obviously, these are cases where they could not control it. So it's this. Larry, I didn't see you last week. You're a heavy social media user in all its forms. So
yes,
you get
I
to
am.
answer the question for you.
Okay.
Do you control it, or does it control you? And you can answer it any way you want.
I think that it's 50-50 because the reason I'm actually fairly new to social media, I was off of it for like 7 years.
You were off because?
I just went off the grid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had MySpace.
With everything, your phone, everything.
Everything, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had MySpace back when I was a teenager, and that's it. And then now I have everything. But the reason I have it is for business purposes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I could tell that I'm getting so wrapped
Caught
up
up.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And time flies. You could go scroll down your timeline and look up, and an hour has passed. And people like my friends and stuff, my parents and, people that know me are like, man, ever since you got social media, you're kind of in your phone all the time, even though I'm promoting, stuff. I'm trying to help people out and stuff, but it does take up a lot of time, and you are more productive when you're off of it. But if you're in the entertainment industry, it's like it's necessary. It's a lot of people have made careers off of social media.
So I get that, and GB tells me all the time. What if you're not in the entertainment industry? Because that's the one reason I hear that. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I mean, okay, they've made that the way to do business now. But what if you're not in that?
It's consuming. I find out people a lot of people are just seeking attention. Some people post, like some people I know will post every hour of the hour for just like, here's me in the bathroom brushing my teeth.
Why do they do that? I gotta help me. Why?
I don't know. It's a new age. I just saw something on the news. A girl crashed her car because she was trying to live stream, and her sister died. And then she gets on the live stream with her sister like this. Is just here in the Bay Area. And her sister's dead. And she's like, my sister's dead, but I still love her, and kisses her. And it's like, what? This just came out like today.
That's bizarre.
It's super bizarre.
See, to me, that's bizarre.
Yes.
That's a whole lot of words, like sick.
It's sick. I think people are, it's.
Look at me.
Yeah. It's just look at me the whole time, and everybody's doing that. That's what it is. And, some of the people who go, and some of the most people who become most famous are actually the most superficial people. That everything they post is of themselves. But people just support that rather than posting something, knowledge or a message. They're just, self-absorbed. I don't know.
But that's for you. You got it under control.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
That's honest.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Bree, come on. You are an avid user of all things social media.
How do you know?
It's written all over you.
You don't know my life.
You don't know me. Yeah. What?
I agree with Larry. It's kind of 50-50 only because I know some people who will not be on social media when they're in school. They'll literally delete the apps because they have to focus and everything, and then they'll probably go back to it like when the semester's over and everything. But I say that it controls us because we're losing interaction with each other. And just like that one-on-one communication, like what do we do when we go to dinner? We all are on our phones half the time. And it's kind of like a way where we kind of don't know how to talk to people anymore. We're so focused, like we're so glued into our phones, into our social media that some people are just comfortable, sliding in the DMs rather than just talking one-on-one. So, I mean, that happens. So, yeah, and just even like with that, like just with dating, I know that dating websites have like increased because a lot of people are just comfortable just talking to someone just on social media and everything. And then when it comes face to face, it's like, let me go back to my phone. So I think it's 50-50.
For you, it's 50-50.
It's 50-50 for me because I'm kind of guilty because when I do wake up in the morning, I go straight to Snapchat. And
to find out what?
Nothing. Like I just go on. It's just, I don't want to call it a routine, but it kind of is a routine, and it's kind of bad because I'm on my phone constantly, and it's just something like that I do, like when I wake up in the morning. But I know that if I have something to do, if I have a serious obligation, I will stay off of my phone, and I know I can do that. Well, when I think of social media, I think about high school. Everybody wants to be popular. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to post a million posts every hour because they want. It's just that importance that people need on social media, and when cyberbullying happens, it's just. It's sad because some people think that, they can just get off their phone. It's not that easy just to get off of your phone.
Come back to that. That's the one that got me. I remember you said that a little while ago. It's not that easy to what?
To get off of your phone.
Why?
Because we're always just going on our phones every time. Even if our brain tells us don't go on your phone, our hands are still creeping up to that cell phone and grabbing it. And
you pulling your hand back. I see it's going to the phone.
Just creeping and getting it. But it's just that's just us millennials growing up in technology, and just that's all we know since beginning of time.
Even though the bullying is there, you can't. It wouldn't be there if you didn't go to the phone.
You can't stop looking, and sometimes you don't want to look, but it just happens. Our minds think that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Selling your soul to social media.
All right. I got a couple of young folks. You want to say something? So I did. I've got a couple of young people on the phone who want to expound on.
Folks on the line?
Yeah.
Oh, quickly.
And their
Your original question?
Does it control you, or do you control it?
Of course, it controls me and us.
It don't control me.
Well, no. If you're not on it, it doesn't control you.
Yes.
But you grew up in a world that didn't have it. So it's never going to be normal to you. But someone who's 15, they didn't grow up in a world. They only know a world that has it. So, and we would assume that the older folks are going to move on before the younger folks. So it's not going nowhere.
I said that it's not going anywhere.
Okay.
I said, do you control it? I know it's not going anywhere.
And yes,
it's going to be more and more and more. But the question
of course
is not
it
whether
controls
it's going
me.
somewhere.
Of course it controls us. I hate it, and I'm still in it.
But does it control you?
Of course it does.
Okay.
For scientific reasons, it's made to control people, and habit, and like Larry said, work, and peer pressure, and you post things. So why do you post? You post because you want to know if people agree, if people like. So then you have to go back and check. You want to see if someone disagreed. Then a discussion starts. So then you're
So are you saying people can't control what's been set up for them to be controlled by?
I'm saying we have an incredibly.
Did you get that, Larry?
Did
you get that?
What I'm saying is that we have one of the most powerful devices ever created in our pocket.
Absolutely.
And to think that we can control that is ridiculous. It controls us. There's no way you can control. It's too powerful.
It's too powerful. See that we don't have a choice, Mr. Akins. There is no choice.
There is no choice. So that's why I would say
there is no choice, Mr. Akins. You have been told.
No, the choice
is no choice.
Don't use it. But that's a very not many people are making that choice.
But they do have a choice though.
Again, I think if you lived without it, and you can imagine a world without it, then you can think, hey, maybe I don't need this. But if you're a youngster, you ain't thinking I don't need it. You're thinking this is what else would I do without it?
Agreed.
This is what it is.
And that's the challenge. If you think you can't, that's exactly the challenge. And that's what all these young people who committed suicide said, I can't do without it.
Just in defense of that, and I'm not caping up for social media, but bullying was around before social media.
That's right.
I mean, I got bullied when there was no social media.
And
so the stage is different, but these things existed
I will read you what people say about cyberbullying versus regular bullying and how ramped up it is. How much time we got, Juice? We gotta go to break.
We got 1 minute and 15 seconds.
We got 1 minute and 50 seconds. And I couldn't get to the folks. But contrasting online bullying with regular bullying, right? Offline with our targets might not know who the bully is or why they're being targeted. As cyberbullying can happen anonymously. All right. Cyberbullying can have a large audience. The actions of those who cyberbully can go viral. That's the difference between he say, she say being bullied at school. It is often easier to be cruel using technology because of greater physical distance than the person bullying doesn't see the immediate response by the target. It can be harder for parents and adults to manage cyberbullying. Oh, I agree. Bullying has always been here. It's just been taken to another level by technology. Let's start with Mariana. Which one? Mariana? Mariana,
Yes.
there you are. Have you heard us discussing this?
Yes.
And you know, in our conversations with you at the club, you said some things, your experiences and experiences of people that you know around social media. So why don't you just jump into that? First of all, tell us about what you've heard so far that struck you, and then tell us your experiences, okay?
I guess what I've been hearing so far is that the youth really dive really far into social media. And that's true. But I think a lot of us are really trying to control it for ourselves because we can see how it can be abused and also really harmful for, like, our health.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was talking about on Tuesday how some go to social media for validation.
Yeah, and that's what struck me when you said that more than anything.
Yeah, because, I mean, you go on there and you post a picture and you want somebody to tell you you're pretty. You want somebody to tell you, like, that you're enough. And being, like, a young woman and, like, trying to, like, build myself into something more as I get older, that I have to, I guess self-esteem is something that a lot of young women around me, like, really have a hard time with. Like, and having social media kind of just, like, puts all your insecurities literally in front of everybody else. And seeking validation is, like, detrimental for some people because they do have to post every day because they do need to get those likes and they do need to get some type of attention. But it's really harmful. Like, I had to let go of my Instagram. I talked about that.
Well, and tell people about that because that's, when you said that, that struck me because folks, especially since you're young, how old are you, 17, Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't believe that somebody 17 can actually give up, actually gave up her Instagram. And tell folks why you did that and how you were able to do it.
Okay. So I don't know. Last year I was, like, in a different, like, mindset kind of. I just graduated, so I chose to use my New Year's resolution or whatever to, like, delete all of my social media because I started to notice that it was starting to make me unhappy. And, you know, I come, like, usually, like, when I have problems, like, with my self-esteem, I usually look to others to, like, build me up. So it kind of, me getting rid of it kind of gave me a very, like, it made me be on my own. Like, I had to really work through it on my own. And it was really hard. Like, for a couple of months, I was like, I want my social media back. Like, I'm not talking to nobody. I don't know what's going on. And I really had to look more into myself. Like, you know, I spent, like, a lot of time alone, and I had to, like, really write in my journal about, like, what I need and sit and look myself in the mirror sometimes and just kind of, like, go through the motions because, I don't know, but I knew I couldn't do it with it. Like, I knew I couldn't keep my social media and also try to, like, keep my self-esteem because you just can't, it never works when you try to base your self-esteem off of other people. You can't find security in other people. It's not something that's going to happen, and it definitely wasn't happening for me. So I chose to let it go. But I have it back now. And I definitely find myself my old habits and kind of like talking to old people that I used to talk to and then kind of posting certain things. But I had to, like, really reevaluate and kind of, like, look back into myself and notice, like, what I'm doing and then talk about it or just to change it in the moment. Like, let's just say, like, I make, like, the spur of the moment. I want to post something. I post it. But then I'll probably, like, delete it because I'm just like, no, like, don't do that.
All right, I got to ask you this question. Why do people look to it for validation?
I mean, okay. So Camilla was talking about how, you know, she doesn't really have a problem with social media, right? And it's because, I mean, once you dive into social media, like, if you're not into social media, like, you won't have this problem. Like, it won't it's social media. You don't really need it to like move around in your life. You only use it literally for like fun purposes, or I mean, everybody uses social media for fun purposes, like in some way. But some use it for business, some use it for exposure, and I mean, it's like. Okay, ask the question again. Hold on.
Why do people look to it for validation? And why do they think they can get validation from it?
Because when you get a like, we were talking about dopamines, right? So when you get a like, it's like a dopamine is like sets off like in your body, and it makes you feel good. And
self-esteem booster.
Feeling good is like, it's addicting, like, because you're like, ooh, I want to feel that way again. Like, so it's hard. I mean, and then especially if you're struggling with, you know, your security, like, and feeling like you should look a certain way and stuff like that, it's all too late.
Well, that word is really a huge trap. The word like. I'm just thinking about what you said, like the word cool, right? Everybody wants to be cool. Everybody wants to be liked.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they really like you. And, of course, if they like you that day, they could not like you the next day. So that means you're up. It's like being high. You up and then you
down.
You down.
Yeah, but it's because you see other people get that attention. Like, you know, you have, like, social media stars. You have, like, young girls trying to be like Kylie Jenner. And, like, it's a problem. It's a problem because, I mean, honestly, you have, like, it's ridiculous. Like, people see these lifestyles, and they're not even real. Like, people, it's like it's not real. It's not real. It's like, Lord.
Let me bring Courtney and stay there, baby. Thank you. I knew you would be candid. That's why I love talking to young people. Courtney, you there? What'd you think about what Mariana said?
Yeah,
Hi, dear. How are you? These are a couple of young ladies we have at the program. What do you think about what you've heard so far?
What I've heard so far, I agree with it. And it kind of is sad that people get so trapped into it that they feel like they have to take their life when they're being bullied.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like social media, it kind of does take over my life. Like, I would say, I've heard a lot of people say it's 50-50, but for me, I think it's 60-40. Like, literally, I could wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is look for my phone, go on Instagram, and, like, be on there for 15 minutes. And for some reason, it just wakes me up. It gives me that energy because I get to see, like, what's the new tea, like, what people are doing, who slid in the DM. Like, you get to see everything. And then I go to Snapchat. I see who Snapchatted me. And then when we were having our conversation at the club, Mariana said that it was for validation. And at first, before she even said that, I was just on social media thinking that it was okay. But when she said it, it struck me. And I feel like that's probably one of the main reasons that I'm on there, which is also a self-esteem issue that a lot of girls my age and younger are going through. So social media, it could be bad also. It really can.
I like when you said 60-40. And Mariana, I think it's a great example. If somebody's had to get off of it and then, how can I say, exert control over it before trying to go back on it, but always be wary that she can slip back into it. Because when she says the power of like, you know, and even though they don't even know me, right? How can they like me, right? But that word is like the word friend, you know, it's like the word love. There's certain I call sacred words that just because they're the word there, you can really believe that somebody might really like you, even though you've never seen them in your life. It's just
so crazy.
It's just so that's crazy. The whole point. That's the whole point. No, and this to me is going to be a challenge that all young people have moving forward because this stuff is going to get, but now, and I agree, you know, both Dre talked about it at the club and Malcolm talked about it. It's designed to me in many ways for you to not exert control. He even said you can't control it, and I disagree with that. But in order to do that, you got to realize what you're dealing with. That's what the phrase I'm looking for. What you're dealing with, and you're right. You know, when Kim Kardashian comes on and says she has 36 million followers, and oh my God, Kim has 36 million followers. I only have 2, so I need to get 36. And okay, I mean, and she's all this, and I mean, actually, she's nothing. But you think she's all
Right,
that because
she's
it was me,
fake.
right? Yeah, well, of course she is. Of course she is. There she is, absolutely, and I'm not saying it because I don't know, but it's that she's a creation, right? And all these people,
Right.
so for and you're real, and I it just to me, when I could see how people would would commit suicide over this. I could see it, because if you got issues you bring to the table and you put it in front of the world, and
Right now, everybody has the chance to judge you.
talk about you, judge you, blast you, call you every name in the
If your
book.
self-esteem is already low, you go eat that up, and now you're even in a deeper place.
Yeah. 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 It's
If you can't deal with it, if it really makes you feel a certain
well, see, I don't think that people know they can't deal with it. I just think that it's addictive. That's what I've seen. It's addictive.
That part.
It's addictive.
No.
And it's like drugs.
Right.
And what
a
a
big
drug?
drug.
What drugs
Biggest-
make you feel like you can't be without it, right? That's the way a drug works. You need me. Any drug you see, you gotta have. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. And so it's a real challenge. And I'm assuming that there
The
are
people who made Instagram, they know what they're doing. They know exactly. And we're just eating it up. Like, it's crazy.
Now they know. Now and it's funny when you say that. It's one thing when you don't know, but when you say they know what they're doing, that should give you. Now you have the power because you know what they're trying to do.
True, but if you don't have social media, it's like you're living under a rock or you're out of the loop.
Yeah, I know. But are you really?
Kinda.
Are you kinda?
Anybody else agree with
Maybe?
me, or is it just me?
I don't know. Are you or aren't you? Do you?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like without social media, you're kind of under a rock. Like you don't know what the new news is. You don't know who did who.
People can go without social media.
You're saying they can go without it, Mariana?
Yes, I feel like if you don't have social media, it doesn't necessarily put you under a rock. I mean, that means you're like literally basing your news on, I guess, the news, your local news,
Right.
or I guess whatever is happening in your circle and stuff like that. But you can definitely go on without social media. And I think it builds stronger people and less superficial people.
I like that. Less superficial.
I like that. I agree. Okay.
Less
I like that point.
superficial.
Because then if you don't have social media, you're not trying to be a certain way and act a certain way, you being yourself at all times. And that's what everybody was doing before they even had social media. They wasn't worried about anything else. They was worried about themselves and like they circle of friends and stuff like that. It was regular.
You know
Now we
what I see. Again, I'm dealing with young people, okay? Because I see a lot of fragile people dealing with a lot of other fragile people, and in a very system that's not designed to do anything but exploit a lot of fragility. That's what I see, and not caring one way or the other because for them they're just making money.
Right.
It's almost there was a case of let the buyer beware, let the user beware. That's just that and I'm going back to the stories of social. Go ahead,
like,
Lady Estelle.
It's like it keeps you weak and dependent.
But
The goal is to get you coming back and being engaged with every app. That's what
Okay.
they want. User engagement.
Which is a dependency.
Yes, but to Doc's point, ain't nobody making you do that.
That's right.
Okay,
So
but
that's
what
what they'll
about
say. We ain't
cyberbullying?
telling you, hey, you chose us. We didn't choose you.
So, you know what it reminds me of? When I was younger and I used to sit and watch TV, my mom used to always say, all you do is sit and stare at that idiot box. Now we got the idiot box in our pocket, Doc. And they've made it
24/7.
and they've made it personable because you feel like you connect to it on a real life level. Because you can send a direct message to anybody you want to on there. whether it's the president of the United States or your friend who live up the block. So the fact that you have connection to anybody who's engaged or using this same platform makes it feel like it's your way to the world. To communicate to the world. So people use that, and meanwhile, when you scrolling down your timeline, the majority of the stuff that you taking in is garbage. Trash. And people love the garbage. I'll tell you one thing right here. I'll post a video right now, Doc, of Malcolm X giving a speech, right? Message to the grassroots. I'll put that up right now. It's plenty of knowledge, diamonds, gems, and jewels in that speech, right? Bet you it won't get as many likes as me putting up a meme of OJ getting out. Okay. I guarantee you it won't.
And that's the trap right there. It won't get as many likes. Who cares?
It's people, but those likes are people who view it, people who take it in, people who want to spread the message, and people who accept it as good content. It's like Larry said earlier, it's content that you're taking in. So those likes are people acknowledging that they either appreciate viewing it, appreciate you, or whatever else.
But that's a statement of fact. Whether you like, it's like your friend, like your friend, like you. But there's a power attributed to the likes.
Yes, especially
that's different. That is more than just the word like.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of power that goes to it. Monetarily, you can make money if you have a certain number of followers. It goes to, like the young lady alluded to earlier, self-esteem. If you're somebody who feels like, especially a young woman right now in today's time, if you feel like you aren't the stereotypical, beauty that everybody sees on the cover of the magazines, getting likes gives you affirmation, right?
Right.
It affirms that you are beautiful.
Yes.
So when you take that in, we've already interpreted this. It's already been spread throughout the society.
Well, one thing comes to mind when I saw the Matrix a long time ago. The one line in there when the trader was sitting in the restaurant eating with all the programs that had the Matrix on lockdown, and he was cutting a steak, and he was saying, I know that this is nothing, but my brain is telling me that it tastes good, that it smells good, and one thing I must say, ignorance is bliss. And then he took a bite of that steak.
Man.
That's what this represents. And when you were saying people would rather watch a fight or a video of some nonsense or an OJ meme, people enjoy the luxury of being within ignorance because there's no pressure with that. There's no responsibility with that.
Bingo with
responsibility. So I know you don't want to go there just yet, Doc. But I think it's important for people to recognize and realize that this is the stupid tree that fell on people, and people are sucking it up because they do not have to process and do the one thing that would hurt people's head the most. Think.
I agree with you. That's why we're having the conversation. Look, folks wouldn't even want me having this conversation. You think Facebook don't be want me having a conversation about you controlling it? No, not at all. Absolutely.
Well, see,
you're right.
That's a whole separate.
They don't care.
That's a separate conversation, which means we have to build up. And again, this is some higher ordered conversation when we start talking about this, because, and let me just dip it back down. Most people don't want to think about it because then they're forced to have to either make a conscious choice on what you're going to do or not going to do. It's much easier when you're in that sunken place where it's oblivious, don't know, I'm interested in this and that, but if you have to put two and two together to get your four, and then what are you going to do? Nobody, I won't say nobody, but it's very difficult for the masses where they are to have to pull that together and then make the choice to say, you know what, I'm not going to engage in that, and I'm going to spend my time doing something else, because that something else is harder than doing that social media stuff.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. We got 100%. Look, we got some real stuff going here. So look, I got so much. I got number one. I got number two. 800-765-3437. Give us a call. I just want to know: do you control it? Or does it control you? That's really all I'm trying to find out. If you're in control of it, fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's when you're not in control of it. That's what bothers me the most. I want to get a caller on line too who wants to chime in on this. Is it, how you say your name? Satya? Satya, I'm sorry. What do you? Well, let me just ask you: do you control it, or does it control you?
It don't control me.
Good. That's it. That's all you got to say.
No, I wanted to comment on the question that you had related to not too long ago about when we post positive things on there. Hello?
I'm here.
About positive things like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and things like that.
Yes.
You don't get a lot of likes and things like that.
Yep.
And, so when you post the bad stuff, you get more likes.
Absolutely.
You get more likes than the positive things. And I have learned that from the past time I've been on Facebook, that when I used to post my problems and negative things, I get more likes than the positive. So I had to weigh my option out about me being on there or, taking myself off. But as I stayed on there, I started posting positive things, and I didn't get I don't get likes, I don't get nothing.
So how does that affect you? Does that make you feel good, bad, indifferent? I mean, does it? I'm just curious. Since you don't get likes, does that make you? How does that make you feel?
No, it don't make me feel bad. It's just because everybody has their own, opinion of likes and things like that. I just keep on posting the positive stuff.
Good for you.
So it's either if they don't like it or if they don't, it's not their choice, it's mine.
So it didn't affect what you posted based on whether they liked it or not, which I think is good for you. That means you got control to me. I like that. Thank you, dear. Thank you. I like that. Right. I really do. I like that. I'm using the word like. Okay. Let's go to I gotta talk to Anaton. Anaton Barriola. Woo, Anaton. This has been something. Thank you for joining us. The Anaton down in he's in Florida. My God. Was it 1 o'clock down there? A quarter to something like that, 1 o'clock. Man, Anaton Barriola, all things Barriola-esque. You have, you're just a man for this. And when, I talked to you the other day and I said, Anaton, please bring us some kind of common sense way to deal with this whole thing of social media. What do you think so far?
First of all, it's a brilliant conversation had by everybody in the room, everybody of all ages. And I'm really impressed by the 17-year-old who got on and just represented herself and spoke so well about social media and control. And I think everybody is kind of saying the same thing. The only thing we control is what we allow to control us. Mm-hmm. The only thing we control is what we allow to have control over us. Subconsciously, your body begins to behave in ways that mimic your thoughts. The mind controls the body. The body has no control over the mind. So, for instance, if I go out and I'm working out in the gym, it's my mentality, my mental state that I have to tap into in order to lift the heaviest weight or to do that extra push-up. It has nothing to do with the physical. It's my mind pushing me physically beyond so I can get that done. So the question is, what controls you? That's really the question. You can even look at religion and say people may submit to a religion to have control, moral compass in their life, something to keep them on a steady path. So our free will it's free will, but we have a decision over what and who's going to control us. And it's the same thing with the internet, with social media. It's like a gun. Is the gun bad or is the person behind the gun bad? A gun can remain dormant for years and never be used. It takes somebody to come and pick it up and, squeeze the barrel for it to work. So it's the same thing. You have to realize when social media is taking control over your life And it's a very subtle thing. When people are saying they wake up in the morning and they go right to it, you know? I used to do that until I became aware of it. And now I spend one full hour just like, you know, talking to God, meditating, you know, being diligent about my thoughts and what I'm going to do for the day. And then when I approach the day, it's way better than when I just would just, you know, get in the car immediately and just like take off full speed. That's what getting on your smartphone is doing. There's no substance there. You're just going out into the day. It's like getting in the car with no seatbelt and just stepping on the gas.
You know, Tom, what got me really, and I'm seriously, when Mariana, who is, maybe we can just, she's listening, I'm sure. I think they're both listening still. When she said people look for validation, that hit me hard because you're not going to get that there. It's false. It's phony. It's not real. It can't. As quickly as they can be like you, they can dislike you. As quickly they can not be your friend. And you're doing this with people you don't even know. That got me. You want to be validated by this amorphous bunch of folks out there? I mean, it's just that just really, really hurt me. That you're seeking something from that's not even real.
It's not real, and it's dangerous because, you know, who's to say? Like currently, the landscape, you can look at social media, and it's, you know, it's a pretty fair bet that who you're speaking with over social media is really that person behind the screen. But I mean, there are shows like Catfish that reveal that, hey, there are people acting like they're somebody who they're not. So, you know, it's scary when you begin to get in a position where you truly don't know who's on the other side of that computer. I mean, when people do these, I heard you talking about sex trafficking earlier. When people do these sex trafficking, you know, runs, they're seeking on the internet and looking for young girls, and oftentimes on the other end of that, it's a police sting, and they show up and get arrested. You know, so you never know who's on the other end and what the messages they're trying to send, and who's really controlling and governing this
and
whole
I think just to add,
internet.
Let me add this. I think there are people who just want to mess with you. I mean, people want to mess with you when you was in school, right? Now, you know, people just want to mess with you just because it's fun to mess with you, and now you're asking, why are they going to validate you? Right? Why are they going to say something nice about you when for them it's fun? I mean, we got this thing with this 20 guys beat up this guy at Bart, right? You know, people just jump people for nothing. Just for them it's fun. So you're asking that audience to validate you? That's, to me, is what?
It is. I mean, this whole landscape is what? You can turn on the TV, look outside, turn on the radio. Of course, not Street Soldiers, but the whole idea is like, what? That's what I ask every single day. What? That's where we live. And a lot of times people seek refuge from that what in this safe place, this make-believe world called the internet. And they're on social media as somebody mentioned on the show earlier, to kind of just get away from all it and look at some dumb stuff and forget about all the trauma happening and, you know, not being responsible for what we should be doing out there. So it's an escape a lot of times, and we get sucked in because it feels good. It may not be the best feeling, but it's better than what really exists. You know, we're always kind of trying to escape that reality, and it's our little escape. It's dangerous.
Mariana, let's get Mariana back on. Mariana, you listening? I want to pull her back up. Mariana, can I get you back? Mariana, you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. You said something the other night at the age of 17 I thought was so adult. You said, is it your little sister or somebody who was going to, did you say somebody in your family wanted to give them a phone, and you said,
Okay.
Let's say how that went down.
Okay. So recently my little sister, she turned 10. And to reward her, her father bought her an iPhone. And I thought they were just going to get her a better phone because her phone was messing up, and it was like a flip phone or something like that. So they come back and they have an iPhone, and I was so mad. Because I'm just like, she's 10 years old and she has an iPhone. I got an iPhone when I was in when I was going into the 11th grade, and I was so angry because my little sister, you know, she's 10, so she's very curious, and to have an iPhone in her hand I feel like, is the most dangerous thing. Like, over the day, she adds me on Snapchat like it's all good. I'm like, don't you got to be 13 to get on Snapchat? You know, because usually they have, like, you know, a cutoff age where you can't get on or whatever. And you can only, I think it's 13 or whatever. And I'm like, well, she's 10 years old, so she lying about getting on Snapchat. What else she lying about? So I took her phone and I put the what is that? The protections on it. But she was so adamant that I did not do that, and I was just, no, you're 10 and you're gonna stay 10 with this iPhone in your hand.
For you to say that, and I mean that, for you to say you're 10 and you're going to stay 10. And see, what people would say is that, well, they're going to do what they want to do anyway, which you're right. But the point is that you're saying, I'm going to do everything in my can. They're not going to do it right by me. And when people abdicate, when they say that statement, you can't get it. I have no control over what other people say. I don't have control over what I say. I have control over my actions. And no. What I'm saying, for you to do that to me, I thought was so admirable, in saying, I'm going to try and keep you 10, even if nobody else tries to keep you 10.
Right.
I thought, and then the times of new dads, you know, and you're probably thinking, what is my son going to go?
No, I mean, it's crazy. She said, you know, her first iPhone she got when she was like in the, how old were you got it? Like 17 or, no, 13 or 11 or something like that? I was 20. Okay, 6. I was 20 when I got my first iPhone, and it was the first iPhone. So I remember when they came out. Actually, I was more than 20. I was old. That was an iPod. I was like 25 or something. But my solution, as far as, you know, giving a kid a phone, is like, you know, pull out that Metro PCS or that old flip phone Nokia or something. The iPhone has way too much access. There's something without the internet. And, you know, secondly, I gave my son an iPad, you know, and it's like you try not to, you know, it's like I don't want him to be addicted to the thing so early or even be introduced to it, but it's after a while it becomes something that, let me turn on Elmo on YouTube. It's convenient, and it's a dangerous thing. You know, I am scared of the future in a sense where, you know, the technology is just progressively, it's getting more intense and more invasive and more tricky to maneuver and just crazier by the day.
And I'm thinking about your son. I'm just thinking, I hope he doesn't. Look, peer pressure is going to come up. We all know that, right? And so we prepare that for the kids. We got rules for friends. Mario, a friend will never lead you to danger. We talk about friendship. We talk all that because we know it's out there, right?
Right.
And we hope that they can apply all of this to everything. Apply it to the internet. Apply it to everything, right? But to be this whole new world that they're going to have to deal with. We have to deal with now. Because, you know, I mean, they got to deal with it now. That's only going to get worse. And then trying to find out who you are in that world when you don't have a real sense of self. Because adolescence is a time when you're trying to figure out who you are anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
But, I mean, it's always gotten worse over time. Like, historically, it's always gotten worse, right? Hasn't it never gotten better? Like, it's always gotten worse progressively. That's always kind of the thing that people say, oh, it's getting worse. That's always been the conversation. So I think it's safe to say we've survived this far. And it's only getting worse, but we're also only getting stronger.
I hope so.
Smarter.
I hope so.
We are.
Well, those of us that get it, yes. Those of us that don't get it, no. Let's put it like that.
Right.
So it's about getting it. And when I hear Mariana and I hear Courtney and I hear the young people that we have these conversations with about honest conversations, and they have honest conversations with us, we can at least prepare them. It's those that don't have these conversations that are allowed to just go out there and to get caught up in anything. I don't care if it's the streets or whatever. That's what bothers me. I got folks who really want to jump in here. Let's see if we got time. Line one, okay, we got to go line one. And I don't know, I got multiple people on at the same time. Let's see if we can do it. All right, you got to turn your phone line down. This is a professional expert, I am told. Professional expert? Is this you?
Hello?
Yes, you are on.
Hey, how's it going? My name is
yeah.
Haley Hewitt. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who specializes in social media addiction.
All right.
And I love this conversation, and I just wanted to chime in a little bit about the neurochemistry of dopamine surging in the brain. I know someone had mentioned, the dopamine fills your body when you see the like. And it's not only likes, it's also like a text message or, of course, any substance that one becomes addicted to that secretes a surge of dopamine in our brains. And it's so rapid that it blows out the neuroreceptor site so that it takes
you're scaring me with all of this, but keep going.
It takes days for these receptor sites to rebuild, and thus we crash below our homeostasis, below our baseline. So we're seeing an increase in almost a bipolar process.
Are you kidding
depression,
me?
and then this mania, this excitement.
I knew there was something else going on here with this stuff.
An
increase in depression, bipolar. Oh, my Lord.
Well, yes, and I just want to note, too, that, the Instagram and the Facebook creators and all these people in these social, media websites and programs are now developing, like, virtual reality and VR, and that's, like, the next stage of technology, and they're, working to infuse virtual reality with empathy and to hopefully, induce other positive secretions of neurotransmitters in our brains like oxytocin, serotonin, these more sustainable secretions of neurotransmitters so we get more sustainable joy. But I mean, virtual reality and empathy are almost, oxymorons. Like, can you actually infuse human connection through a headset? And someone was saying that they, got more likes on negative things that they're saying, which I think speaks to the power of, like, vulnerability and, like, our deeper desire as humans to want to connect. And so I leave you with this, this guy who came speaking from Florida, he spoke to, like, our mind-body connection, and, like, the mind is what drives our choices and behavior, when really, like, our cognitive mind is housed in our body, and when we only source from the brain in our head, we become dissociated from the body. So get in your heart, get in your gut, your wisdom and your intuition, and actually get out and, like, connect in real life with humans.
Thank you there. Thank you.
For the good joy.
Thank you.
For
Thank
real
you.
joy.
A lot of stuff I need to understand. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, thanks for starting the conversation.
Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. Anytime, that's deep.
Yeah.
Neuroreceptors, dopamine, depression. I notice. I can see it. I can see it. I may not be able to put all my fingers on the words of it, but I can see it. I can see fragility. I can see something going on. I can see inhibitions. I can see it. And tell me, I've dealt with young people long enough. Mm-hmm. He was different. He just didn't give a, but he wasn't fragile.
well, it's
this
a whole
group is in a different place.
It's a whole change in society, Doc. I mean, it's a whole different element that people who grew up in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s didn't have to deal with. Hell, even the early 2000s.
And he had pages. That's a whole different. But I'm saying it coincides with. I'm not saying it's a cause of. I'm saying it coincides with. Because they went into something that.
Well, it taps directly into your emotions.
Well, the other piece of it is if you don't have anything to build on, then anybody can put and build on what's not there.
Agreed.
All you have is just soil. You can plant what you want to plant. If you have land, you can build a house. You can build whatever. So if you don't have a foundation of who you are, character, morals, values, or a sense of self, then anything, anyone, or any type of electronic, social media, or whatnot can start building on that.
Yep.
You have a namesake that wants to talk. Line 4.
And building on your insecurities.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You got to have an anchor. We're going to do one of the shows on what's your anchor. Line 4. It's Andre. Another Andre.
Hey.
You there? Go right ahead, man. We got a few minutes here. Go right ahead. Your thoughts on the whole. Does it control you?
All right. Well, I'll just first start off by talking about, I guess, what the last lady was talking about the dopamines and everything that comes with the phones and about them needing to have to go out and get out and talk to people and interact with people. And that kind of comes down to tools. I mean, you get your tools from either school or get them from home. And so, we'll go back to the parents. They say we can't get it and put it all on parents. But I think parents need to do a better job. My mom, I grew up in 79. So, when the street lights, you get about the street lights coming on, you had to go pick switches, all of that. But the thing that I think is going on by her saying that, so then it's like another epidemic that you'll have with the kids because they're more interested in getting phones than going to school. It's like you got to have the latest phone or you can't go to school. If you take their phone, they'll have a fit. I've seen them tear up the house and, all of that because they lost the phone or you took the phone, And then the thing with the Facebook thing, Facebook was supposed to just be originated for you to find your real friends. And it's everybody on there with thousands of friends that they don't even really know, And if somebody's on there just giving bad comments or mean comments, that's like, misery loves company, and you're not really doing anything or you feel bad.
Then you're being more miserable.
You want to look at somebody that's feeling worse.
With more miserable people.
Well, yeah, because it's a lot of other things that are going around that visually, instead of it's a lot of ways to have genocide. And you got all the videos and you got all the rap songs that tell the kids that you must have this and you must have that. Yep. And I think that some of the hip hop artists should stand up because audio genocide is what's going on. I mean, they got to take responsible for what they rapping. They got to know who they working for. And when we used to rap originated in telling stories and educating back then when we came from and what it was about and uplifting and telling you about things to look out for and what not to do. And it's totally lost that way. And so the kids are only doing what they hear. And what they see. Kids' brains are like sponges. I'll say everybody's brains could be a sponge, but children are more susceptible to that, especially at the time when they're trying to figure out who they are.
Andre,
and a parent, you are influenced, but the world, they're facing thousands of influences when they leave the house.
Wow.
It's not just the kids at school, it's the world influences. The TV says you have to have the new iPhone 7. You got to get the new Jordans that are $600.
And let me say this. And here, my concern is somebody doesn't get hold of this as a young person. They become a parent. There will be no way they're going to be able to get hold of it as a parent.
Well, see, that's the issue that's going on.
And that's what I think the whole thing is. It's going to be a breakdown in how education is passed through, and they won't be able to survive. That's going to be another way to wipe them out. Because they're already telling us, if you stop us, if you just the one way to kill a people, if you prevent them from being able to procreate.
Whoa,
and keep on having a culture and having a people.
Social media is the topic tonight with the focus on control. Is it yours or not? So we asked the question in the studio. Is 50-50 consuming? And we don't know how to talk to each other anymore. Everybody wants to be popular or come up with something that goes viral, searching for validation with the desire to be enough, or looking to other people to build them up. The power of social media is clearly real, engaging, consuming, and addictive as well. It's designed to connect, makes you reluctant to let go. Despite its content or misuse, it has a stronghold. So what can be done to avoid being sucked in and keep social media in its place? Avoiding the dangers it can bring. Know the power to deal with this is within you, with the strength of your mind to control what you do. Choose to connect with those things that are real. Mind-body connections, human relationships help us heal. So Street Soldiers wants you to know and believe, to put social media in its proper place. And please, stay alive and free. This is Lady Estelle asking you to consider this.